when Yisrael had conquered Jericho and the Rai, all Yisrael and their elders and officers and their judges stood on this side of the ark and on that side before the priests, the Levim, that bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, as well the sojourner as the homeborn, half of them in front of Mount Gerizim, and half of them in front of Mount Raibal, as Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, had commanded at the first, that they should bless the people of Yisrael. And afterward he read all the words of the law, the blessing and the curse, according to all that is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moshe commanded, which Yehoshua read not before all the assembly of Israel, and the women, and the little ones, and the sojourners that were among them. Yehoshua chapter 9. And it was when all the kings that were beyond the Jordan in the hill country and in the lowland, and on all the shore of the great sea in front of Lebanon, the Hitti and the Amori, the Canaani, the Perezi, the Hewi, and the Yebusi heard thereof, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Yehoshua and with Yisrael with one accord. But when the inhabitants of Gabaon heard what Yehoshua had done to Jericho and to the Rai, they also did work wilily, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their donkeys, and wineskins, old and torn and bound up, and old and patched shoes upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry, and was become mouldy. And they went to Yehoshua to the camp at Gilgal, and said to him and to the men of Yisrael, We are come from a far country. Now therefore make ye a covenant with us. And the men of Yisrael said to the Hewi, Perhaps ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a covenant with you? And they said to Yehoshua, We are thy servants. And Yehoshua said to them, Who are ye, and from whence come ye? And they said to him, From a very far country thy servants are come, because of the name of Yahweh thy God, for we have heard the fame of him, and all that he did in Mithraim, and all that he did to the two kings of the Amori that were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon, king of Heshbon, and to Og, king of the Bashan, who was at Ashtaroth. And our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spoke to us, saying, Take provision in your hand for the journey, and go to meet them, and say to them, We are your servants, and now make ye a covenant with us. This our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we came forth to go to you, but now, behold, it is dry, and is become mouldy. And these wineskins, which we filled, were new, and behold, they are torn. And these our garments and our shoes are become old, by reason of the very long journey. And the men took of their provision, and asked not counsel at the mouth of Yahweh. And Yehoshua made peace with them, and made a covenant with them, to let them live. And the princes of the congregation swore an oath to them. And it was at the end of 3 days, after they had made a covenant with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they dwelt among them. And the children of Israel journeyed, and came to their cities on the third day. Now their cities were Gabaon, and Kapirah, and Beheroth, and Qaryat Ya'arim. And the children of Yisrael smote them not, because the princes of the congregation had sworn to them by Yahweh the God of Yisrael. And all the congregation murmured against the princes. But all the princes said to all the congregation, We have sworn to them by Yahweh the God of Yisrael. Now therefore we may not touch them. This we will do to them, and let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because of the oath which we swore to them. And the princes said to them, Let them live. So they became hewers of wood and drawers of water to all the congregation, as the princes had spoken to them. And Yehoshua called for them, and he spoke to them, saying, For what reason have ye beguiled us, saying, We are very far from you, when ye dwell amongst us? Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall never fail to be of you bondmen, both hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God. And they answered Yehoshua and said, Because it was certainly told thy servants how that Yahweh thy God commanded his servant Moshe to give you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore we were very afraid for our souls because of you, and have done this thing. And now, behold, we are in thy hand. As it seemeth good and right to thee to do to us, do. And so did he to them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, that they slew them not. And Yehoshua made them that day hewers of wood and drawers of water for the congregation, and for the altar of Yahweh, to this day, in the place which he should choose. Now it was, when Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard how Yehoshua had taken the Rai, and had devoted it, as he had done to Jericho and her king, so had he done to the Rai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gabaon had made peace with Israel, and were among them, that they feared greatly, because Gabaon was a great big city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than the Rai, and all the men thereof were mighty.